registration is not mandatory. You see, businessmen don't have an awareness that they have to comply with this step. They're only aware of SEC registration, then the DTI, business name
Attorney,
registration.
yan ang maganda eh. Balik ko naman ang question sa'yo kasi kami yung resource dito eh. Alam mo, host ako, malaki talaga ang bibig ko eh. Ang lakas ng personality ko. Siyempre, I'm always on TV here on GNN. The question begs, why is it the regulators, in this case, government, the Department of Trade and Industry, and now the regulators, the specialization of intellectual property, why don't you make it mandatory for the DTI for sole proprietorship and for partnership and corporations with the Security and Exchange Commission that when they do register for their own good, i-register immediately IPO requirement? Magkano lang naman? Even if it takes you how many months, attorney?
6
before?
months.
6 months. Even if it's 6 months. You don't create a product today and tomorrow you market it. Ano yan? And then the day after you take it off the shelf. Tingin ko naman may thinking yan eh. And when you start off the trade, capital is fresh, it's still intact. It's difficult if it's 5-6 years down the road. And then you're going to register. Baka mangyari yan like what happened to our product, one of our brand titles. But if maybe the Intellectual Property Philippines would make it mandatory, but not because of the cost or because your regulation we're gonna pay. No, you protect the entrepreneurs, you protect the corporations. Look at SM. Can you imagine if that did not get registered? Kasi trade name lang ang SM eh. Today, SM is a brand. Malls yan, department store, ang dami nila. What if they were not registered? Ngayon, i-re-registro ko, first come, first serve. Ang gagawin ko, tatayo ako ng maliit na building, katabi niya, SM din ako. And I will require that he takes down his sign. In other words, I will steal his goodwill. So protect us. Can't you make it mandatory, attorney?
Well, we are going to lobby for that because we need, obviously we need either enabling law or a sort of
Legislation
partnership
pala, no?
with the SEC and the DTI.
Yeah, but
in
that's
order to
true
make
eh.
it mandatory.
Especially the new businesses. That's the problem here, the awareness campaign and the education and awareness campaign. Because the new businesses, if you don't input IPR in your business model, you're dead. You'll close shop. I guarantee you, you're going to close
You're
shop.
straight to the point. Ano
You'll close shop.
Ganun lang yun.
tama yan. Agree ako dyan.
Because
Agree ako.
anyone who claims na he's the first to register your trademark will have you take down your sign.
Oh
and
yes, I've
he has
heard of
every
a lot
right
of horror stories really.
about
Oh,
businesses
yes,
having
oh.
to change their business name, I mean
Yeah.
their products
Yeah.
and everything.
I'm putting up a farm. I'm going to apply my
You know why?
What is that
Whether
trademark?
your business trade name becomes you may as well register it as intellectual property in the event that the brand that you've created, for example, your farm, if it's agriculture or is it livestock? Let's assume it's livestock. So John's Pigs or John's Chickens. John's Chickens, John's Pigs will become the brand, but it's going to be John Corporation. You might as well register John Corporation because there will come a time that anything that is outside John's Chickens, John's Farm, or John's Pigs, it could be John's Horses and John's agricultural products or aqua marine culture.
Will become
But
a
coming
brand.
from John's Farm will
Yeah.
be the exclusive. That will be the
Correct.
goodwill. So that becomes the brand
Correct.
eventually,
Yes,
which is
that's
what
right.
happened to SM. First, it was the shoes, but really, who among us go to Shoe Mart just to buy shoes? It's the last thing you think of.
That's right.
Di ba?
Yes, it
So
is.
you may as well register, and people don't understand. The only way you can register that, like what you said.
Yeah.
Tama si Attorney Sara dyan eh. Ako, I've made it my advocacy to promote it, to teach entrepreneurs.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Kulang.
for their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
protection.
Oh,
for their
kulang
own
eh,
protection.
Kulang talaga.
All right, gentlemen, we'll be pausing for a short break. Do stay with us here on Intellectual Property. We'll be right back. Good evening. Welcome back to Intellectual Property. I'm your host, Attorney Sarah Jane Sugitan. Joining us tonight are two very fine gentlemen, Mr. John Lesaca and Mr. Harry Tambuatco. Now let's go straight to the IP Coalition certification mark, which is the IP seal, which we are going to project here. What is it about, and who do you give it to?
The IP seal, I would compare it to the international standard ISO certification. The ISO, when you have that, it means that you follow a certain high level, a certain standard of excellence, of product excellence, of industry practices, and of course your original and licensed works. No? So in a sense, that is what the IP seal is. It's a seal of good housekeeping.
Of good housekeeping.
Okay.
You award it to
We award it
business
to
owners.
companies and stakeholders who, number one, they show respect for IPR by not patronizing the unlicensed, unauthorized, and the fakes and the pirated products. That's one. Number two, they also inculcate in their employees the importance of IPR. And of course, the third one is that the success of your product is no accident.
It's no accident. You've built it with hard
You
work.
build it with hard work. It's a
Goodwill.
recognition of all the efforts that you put in, all intellectual and physical and financial work that went into your product.
It's a recognition for
It's a
all.
recognition. And at the moment, we call them the IP icons.
IP icons.
Yes, it's a start. We just started late last year. We have a group. We started in Cebu. We have given out IP seals there. We have the IP icons there. And IP icons in Manila, we're also starting out here.
So you've awarded this already to specific companies?
Yes,
and,
yes, it's
business
ongoing. And my fearless forecast is that the next IP icon would be something like a broadcasting company like
And
something like that.
so do you have a
Makes me smile. We're gonna get the seal. Huh? Very good.
yes, the broadcasting company segment director is right here beside you. So it'd be
No, but
good
really.
to get to
And you are
seal.
stakeholders. You have your own rights. You have your own IP, intellectual property rights as well.
Definitely, broadcasters. I mean,
Yeah,
broadcast
yeah.
organizations have
At least
rights.
in GNN, if I may toot my horn, all the programs in GNN are all dedicated to one direction, nation building. So every product, every production, every show, all, if not all the hosts and all the programs are dedicated to basically relevant current events and public affairs. And they're all local, original, in absolutely zero violation of any piracy and duplication. And if anything, we are introducing branding.
Yun na maganda
Diba?
dyan.
Yan-
So,
yan ang naiiba.
we go now into the SAM. We call it SAM.
What is
Software,
SAM?
Software Asset Management. Diba? Kumbaga sa software companies, it's the software that the assets that you protect, you exploit, you protect, and you make use of it. In your case, alam niya yung the name of your company, the products, your films, the signal piracy, for example. We have to protect that.
Yes, you have to protect
Diba?
that.
Oh.
All right. Mr. Tambuatco, how about the Super Brand Seal? Who do you award it to, and what sorts of standards do you have
Well,
for this
okay.
particular certification?
Let me see. As the camera will pull towards my side, let's see if we can have the picture-in-picture at the same side as it's sitting on John. Okay, let's go. Okay, it's on my side. Okay, it's on this
There,
side. This side. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Brand Seal. Oops, magic. Hang on, it's coming on. There you go. Okay, there it is. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Super Brand Seal. Okay, how do we give it? We have specific criterion that is standardized all over the world, not exactly what we create in the Philippines. We have a Super Brand Council that we introduce, people in the industry with relative interference or what we would call specific integrity in the various fields, both on broadcast and marketing and advertising and public relations. When we award these people or these brands that come in, a specific criteria, of course, not other than longevity or the ability to stay the market, because really, the only lasting criteria is ability to stay the business. Hindi naman pwede magaling ka, pero after 3 years, you fold up. Wala rin, useless din, di ba? So, then of course, you have market share. Then you've got your specific market share. I tend to look at the advertising, promotion, PR budgets. The criteria is a long list broken down to about 6 different categories. There's also brand promise. Alam mo, it is no good to have a brand and a product that's out in the market when it has a faulty brand promise. It makes your teeth white. And every time you apply it, it turns black. I mean, it doesn't bode well for the brand.
Credibility.
Oh,
Yeah,
credibility,
yeah.
integrity.
Integrity.
Yes,
Correct.
but this criteria, mahaba-haba yan. This is basically an internal process created by Super Brands Philippines together with the Super Brands UK. We fall under Sydney and Jakarta because the base brands are not in Singapore. It's through Jakarta office and Sydney, but the mother company is in the UK. Like I said, in 88 countries, we all carry the same brand criterions or acceptance criterion into the program. We have a program. Incidentally, to be a Super Brands, you've got to have the money. We're very expensive. We're very exclusive. But we are the only international brand award giving body on branding. Like I said, Global Brand Arbiter in the Philippines. Sa Pilipinas, lahat yan local eh. 100%. We are the only singular international award-giving body in the Philippines that's present.
Mr. John Lesaca, for example, I have an internet cafe in Manila, and everything that I'm using inside that shop, it's all original, everything authentic,
Yeah.
and I want to get that seal. Will you be? I mean, how do I go about it? Do I apply for it? Does someone have to nominate me in order to earn
No, you
the
apply.
IP
You
seal?
apply for it online. It's www.ipcoalition.ph or ipseal.ph.
I see.
And well, for the internet cafes, we're starting a special program for that because like Harry over here, the IP seal doesn't come cheap also because you pay for what you get. It's basically it. You pay for the excellence. You pay for the strict adherence to high standards of.
So you check on the awardees every now and then
But
for
you know,
compliance.
for internet cafes, they will not be able to afford that.
It's too expensive.
So we're looking at putting up a special program for them. Anywhere you go, there are internet cafes, right? So
I agree with you there, John. Alam mo, can you imagine if they got all these brand award certificates or certificates just like that? That means it means nothing. The reason these establishments reach out, because one, they qualify, and they have to show the others, their competition, hey, I'm not like you, I'm better. Dapat ganun yan eh. Two, I can afford it. You can't. Meaning, I have reached specific criteria and my business model is working. I have been in the market long enough, and now I can say, it's like saying, it's not a bad haircut day, it's an everyday hair day. Yung
That's
parang
right,
ganon.
that's right,
It's
that's
not, it's a way of life.
and you assure your customers
Yeah.
of the quality of your product and your quality of your service. Yun.
You should have a IPO seal.